My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2 and the Northeast Corridor on the Land of the Free. Today we start and we are in Manhattan and we're looking over the East River towards Brooklyn and Grand Central Terminal that we constructed in the previous episode. As you can see, traffic in New York, I suppose true to life, is rather slow moving even at this early stage in the game. I'm not going to worry about that, however, it's just something we're going to have to deal with while we're doing this little introduction. Now, in the last episode, some of you may have spotted that there wasn't actually a road connection between the bus exchange and the train station just over the river there. I have corrected that off camera. I've put 2 extra roads in from some of the extra street access points that we constructed at the bus terminal. So now we do have a working link between the bus terminal and the train station, so there is now a lot more passenger generation than there was previously, which is good to see. So I apologise for that if you'd picked up on that and you were screaming at the screen. I noticed pretty much as soon as I finished recording actually, so that's now been corrected. So let's bring up the user interface. 30 million there, give or take, in the bank, and about 5 million cash flow, so things looking pretty good so far. That's the wrong button. So yes, these are the extra roads that I constructed just so we now have a link between the 2 terminals, the train station and the bus terminal. So that's now working and we can see the passengers making their way over between the 2, so that's now all progressing nicely, and we've got some now I should say have some people being generated, passengers making their way over to the station to use our lines. Here's a traffic backlog that we can see, and it seems to be the sheer climb that slows the people down as they're traversing the East River over this bridge here. It's quite a steep bridge and limited to horse and cart. They struggle to get up and over the gradient of this bridge. We could rework it, but I'm not going to. We'll come back to that at a later point in time, I think. Instead, what we're going to focus on today is, as I mentioned in the previous episode, maybe getting some food up to Worcester, because Worcester now accepts food as a required cargo. So if we go to Worcester, all the way up here, where are we? Here we go. Oh, it no longer requires food. So they can actually drop some cargo demands as well. Well, that's interesting. That's kind of put a spanner in the works of what I was going to do today. No longer need to do that. How frustrating. So we do have machines, but the production chain for machinery is a little bit more convoluted than it is for food. What I was planning on doing was using this food processing plant here by Yonkers and one of these farms down here and shipping up the food, because we already have this line here which we could use quite readily to get us all the way into Worcester without any issues. However, Worcester no longer needs food, so that is a non-starter. So we'll come back to that, because there's no point setting that line up, because nothing would be generated between the food processing plant and Worcester, because there's no demand for the food. Similarly, we don't want to set up all the infrastructure on the off chance that when Worcester does once again want a 4th trade good, it might not necessarily be food. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I would not want to put everything down in anticipation for that food to appear if it then swaps to something else such as fuel or goods, and then the whole production chain is wasted. So instead then, never mind, it does want food again. So that's what we'll do. We will do that today, saved by the bell, so to speak. So what we're going to do is we need a cargo station here. So cargo station, 2 platforms for now, and what the heck, we will have full length 320 meters, and let's see if we can get this to touch. Yes, we can. Wonderful. Let's just quickly give this a more fitting name, and we'll just call it Yonkers Food Plant. And as I said, in terms of supplying the grain, the raw materials, we have a whole host of farms in this area here, and I think that's probably the easiest solution. We do have one, maybe this one actually. That might be an idea, because then again, because if we do use this one, we can once again just tap into this existing line here. Obviously we do need this to maybe branch off somewhere over here, come over this way and connect in, but that should be fine. So yes, change of plan. We'll use this farm up by Hartford to supply the food processing plant. Now the terrain here is a little up and down, shall we say, so we might need to do a bit of terraforming before anything else here, just to give us a stable flat base for our station. In fact, should we flatten? No, let's see what it looks like now. Well, I think up there will be fine, because I do believe we're gonna have enough reach when we connect a road to this to link these two together. Let's find out. I'm fairly certain this is going to work first time without any road vehicles needed in the go-between, but let's see here. Keep that straight. Yep, it does work, so that's fine. So what we want to do is get this line and bring it into here somewhere. So let's do that now. Let's have it nice and straight and flat to start with. That way, if we need to do any junction work down here, we have plenty of flat space to work with. And where do we want to connect it in? Do we want to just hug around this little hillside here and coming down there? That might be a bit tight in terms of the radius and the speed, or we could just bring it straight down into here. I think we'll go for that, bearing in mind we have this industry we may need to make use of in the future, so we don't have to tie ourselves in terms of space and availability. So if we just curve a little, that way if we do need to put any infrastructure down here, we do have a little bit of space we can work with to get the infrastructure in place. And I think that should be enough space. It might be a bit tight, but saying all that, it may be an irrelevance, as we may never end up using that industry anyway. So we're getting close here. I think we're now snapping parallel, although as we can see we are quite elevated compared to this line down here, which is a little unfortunate. In fact, let's just have that drop down a couple of meters like that. Yeah, that should be okay, just in an effort to bring us down a little bit lower so we can, yeah, do this and come in parallel. Are we parallel? We are. Perfect. What side is our passenger loop on? It's on the right hand side, so what we're going to do now is actually double track all of this. So this little point here, let's just pause it, because the fuel trains are going to get a little bit distressed by these changes until we fix them throughout. So if we do that, and can we do this? We can. Does it look okay? It doesn't look bad. And then if we connect this onto our next passing loop, which is just here, fortunately, not too far, and bring that into there, the fuel trains are going to be happy once again, so we can restart the game. We'll put another signal alongside that one, and we'll need another one alongside this one. And where's our junction? It's all the way up there, so I think we can get away with another block in here. Right, now we need to work on the rest of this connection. So where's our other track? Where did we get to? There we are. So it looks like we're on the wrong side, really. Let's see. Yes. So what we're going to do is that's where the switch is for the first track. So then we're going to bring this over here at high speed, 75, and then bring this in also at high speed if possible. Let's see. Okay, this one might be staggered, but that's fine. There we go. Let's get it as short as possible whilst maintaining 75. There you go. Like that. So we've got a bit of a staggered junction, but that's okay. And do we need a signal there? Let's put one in anyway, just to be safe and sure. We definitely need one on this side. And we will need one there as well. And let's have a clearing signal there and there. And then we'll put a couple of blocks in along here. This way our grain trains, they have plenty of space to stable up and get out of the way of the fuel oil train, so they're not blocking anybody. And then let's stretch these out. Have a nice diamond here. Construction not possible. Rightio. Okay, we have to have a staggered diamond, which is always a little bit weird, but we've still got 75 miles per hour, so it's okay. Just looks a bit strange, but never mind. Some two-way signals there like that. And in fact, let's go for one more block just here. Okay, that's all fine. I think everything is okay here. Yeah, that should be okay. Now what we need to do is continue this double tracking all the way down to roughly where we're going to be branching off for the new station, which I believe I said will be somewhere before the existing bridge. So let's quickly do this. I don't think there's anything due imminently, so shouldn't affect anybody, even though they're going to be complaining. And that there needs to go now. Oops. And then you go to there. So the complaints have gone away. No train got held up, which is always nice. And we'll have that there. We need that one there. And we've got plenty of room for a middle signal on this new stretch of double track just there. Okay then, so at this point, this is where we're going to be leaving the fuel line because we want to be heading up here. And if we come off here, it's going to be far too tight. So we'll come off and have a second bridge over this bit of river here. And where do we want to branch off of? Probably not the greatest amount of room here, although that signal could go. And we could extend this passing loop a little. So yeah, let's come off here instead. As high a speed as possible, which looks like we're going to get to 66 before it starts saying it's not possible. So we'll take that. That guarantees us a nice flat level junction. And then you want to stay at your current elevation because we're going to need a bridge in a few moments, and we want to make sure we have a good clearance over the river. So a little bit of bridge work here, which we could probably do without, like so. Now hopefully this will bridge over this bit of road here, which it will. Let's change the bridge style to the metallic bridge for the increased speeds. Although obviously our trains cannot hit 75 miles per hour at this point, but at least when they are able to, we've future-proofed it, we're ready for it. And can we just deal with this gradient, make it a little longer perhaps? Where's our station? There, so if we come to about there, and then double that up, I think we've kept this bit of water navigable, should be by the looks of it. And then you come down into here, and what speed are you doing? You're 75, so your top speed, which is brilliant, and there, and then we need a diamond. Always a little bit iffy doing a diamond on a corner, but let's see how we do. No problem. Now let's get some signals in here. A couple of two-ways just there and there. And then there are one-ways throughout. So we'll have those as clear signals. Here's our first set of blocks. Perhaps one more after the bridge. And then we're going to need some on approach to this junction, aren't we? So we want one there and one there. That one will probably need moving up to about there. That'll just stop anything backing over this junction in this switch, which is always something you want to avoid where you can. And this one here, we may also want to just ever so slightly extend this. So let's drag it out a little bit further. Delete that signal there. And now bring it back in down here. 75 miles per hour still, which is good. And there's your signal there. Right, that should be clean and tidy. We should have enough blocks down here to handle the extra freight that's coming down here. Now, what else might we need here? Well, what we might need is a connection line from here into here, so our trains from the depot who are running on the grain line can get there with no issues, because I think they, even though they could go all the way down here and turn around, in fact, let's see if they would do that first of all. So let's set a new line up. So we're going from Hertford South, that needs renaming, to Yonkers Food Plant, and we are shipping the grain. So at Hertford South, we of course want a full load, as long as it requires. You're loading food and you're not going to be unloading anything, and here you're just unloading the grain and nothing else. So let's quickly name this. Right, so now if we purchase a train, let's see if that's gonna work. First of all, let's just quickly rename that to, let's call it Hertford Fields. Right, where's our depot? It's tucked in here, isn't it? Buy a vehicle. Let's go with a Baldwin. Cargo, gondola. Give them the colour. Let's just have a look at the speeds here. Yeah, that should be okay. Let's see if you can find your way onto your line. I think you should be able to. Yeah, you can. What's happened? Why have you not? I thought usually that closed itself when you purchase a train. Well, here it is, so it's clearly been purchased. It's on the right line and it is the right train, so out she comes. And what the heck, we'll double that straight away. We'll have two of those. So this is going to go all the way down to Yonkers first and then head back to the grain farm. So a little bit inefficient when starting up, but once it's started, it's started. So you don't need to worry about that too much. It's not going to make or break anything. So the next thing we need to do is get a line from here into Worcester. Now we know we have this connection that goes all the way through. What I'm tempted to do at this point is actually start having bypasses around these intermediate stations that aren't being stopped at. So this one and the one we just looked at there, for instance. And also perhaps even here. Yes. So let's do that first of all. So we'll start down here. So we want our freight trains that are going through to Boston or Worcester to completely skip this section of track here, so then they're not going to get snarled up by anything that's being loaded or unloaded. So what we're going to do is max speed where possible. 66 is fine. Bit of slowdown, but it's not the end of the world. And this is just going to branch and do its own thing. We'll maintain the height, and what we want to do is just skirt around this station in its entirety. Probably a little bit too high here, so let's just take that off. And we want to bring you in all the way around and back in to here. How does that look on the overlap? I think it's fine. Yeah, it'll do, it'll do. And into there. A bit slow on that corner there, but that's okay. That signal needs a bit of adjustment because it can't stay there because it could start blocking the junction. So let's push that forward. We want one here. And we'll have one back there. And then just a couple of blocks along here. And what we want now is one there. We'll have one there. We want one there. That one needs moving back. Whoops, deleted the track. Did not mean to do that. There we go. And yeah, we'll put that one back there. So the train's already started to take this new bypass around this station, which is good to see. So nothing's going to start tripping over each other there. I mean, we've only got the one other line coming through here for now, but who knows what the future holds. So now I need to do something similar for this station as well. So let's see, we're on this side. So what we're going to do is something very similar once again. What's the overlap? Oh, that's ugly. How's that? I think that's still pretty ugly. There we go, that'll do. So you go there. You follow along. And you're just going to come in and bypass all of this. Let's see, how do we want to work this bit? Yeah, that's going to be interesting because we're a bit tight on space here, aren't we? I'll tell you what, go as far as... In fact, yeah, just leave that. What do we have happening at the moment? Okay. Well, do you know what? Maybe you're okay as you are then. Yeah, I think we'll leave that there for now. Well, that can stay as is. That'll be fine. Right, so when we come here, what do we need to do? So we've got this platform being used for loading and unloading. This one is just primarily unloading of the bricks, and this one is for our oil trains to bypass on through. So how do you want to handle the incoming food supply? And what is the best way to do that? Well, I think what we're going to do... Let's see if we can get this to work. So we want some more tracks along here first of all. Like that. Get rid of that now. These can now come in like this. A bit slow, so the fuel trains are going to be slowing down here, but what the heck. Like that. Let's see. So yes, now our fuel train has opted to take this track rather than the inside one. So we should be able to just get the food in onto this platform here and back again. So there might be occasional hold-ups, but to get the ball rolling we should be fine. What we also need is another truck station. We don't have any room to expand this one, so we'll have to put a brand new one down. Let's see, where do we want this? Well, we want it to be 30 meters. Let's have that just there. And give it all the same name, so Worcester Freight Exchange. And then what we want is an unload point in Worcester itself for the food. Where are you needed? Have you dropped off again? You have, haven't you? Ooh, you cheeky little bugger. That is annoying. But on the other hand, once Worcester decides it wants the food again, we're in a position to very quickly start the ball rolling on that. So at least we're ready to go. So, new line, we'll set the line up, but we're not going to have any trains running at this point. So we're going from Yonkers food plant, and we're coming all the way into Worcester. And you want to be on platform number 3 here. We're just going to do load if available this time, because we don't want our food pickup trains to be sat on the platform forever and cause any blockages. So let's just do that. And what are you doing at the other stations? Hopefully you're following the fuel oil train and bypassing the platforms, but let's see. So what we want you to do then is, on your way from Yonkers, you need to come that way, like the fuel train does, so that's good. And then over here you're bypassing automatically, so that's fine. Don't think there's any other stations we need to worry about. No, there's not, so that's good. That's ready to go as soon as we need it. So rail cargo, food, whoa, 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 whoa. Click all of the things. Food freight. There we go. So hopefully we now have grain being produced. Yes, we do. Don't think any of our trains are going to be anywhere nearby making a collection, but let's have a look. Where are you? So you're over here waiting for a free path. So yes, we do have these occasional snarl-ups and delays as things are coming in and out of these stations, but that's okay. Where's the other one? I guess you're stuck behind. Yes, you are. But this should now start moving. Now that his back end is cleared, yep, he's going to get clearance and go straight on through. So now all we need to do is wait for us to decide it wants food again, which hopefully won't be too long. Last time we spoke about it, we did breathe life into it, so to speak, so hopefully we're going to do the same here and now. But I think that's where we'll call a close to proceedings today, waiting for Worcester to decide it wants to eat once again. So because we've got a new line set up, I think that's what we'll take a short journey on today. Where was our train? It was up here, wasn't it? Yep, there she goes. So we'll hop on board this new train, and is it going to be too long to ride it all the way to Yonkers? I don't think it will. Yeah, we'll ride it through to Yonkers. So we'll hop on board and we'll say our farewells. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Still enjoy making them and publishing them. It's all good fun. There's the bit of dead track that we aborted, but we'll leave that, 'cause if nothing else it adds to the scenery. And as I said, at some point in the future we may rework that exit from that station, because as we just saw, it can cause a few delays, although nothing too major or too taxing, let's be honest. It's just an inconvenience rather than a be-all and end-all. So we'll come back to that at some point in the future, I dare say. So, okay then, ladies and gentlemen, all that being said, all it remains for me to say is, as always, you take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.